Hi, my name is Robert Clark. I'm with the Attivo Group, and today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to import Microsoft Excel leads into Synergy. So to start and to kind of set the stage, I'm going to show you a few things before we do that. Number one, when I import these contacts, these leads, these suspect accounts into Synergy, I'm going to upload them as part of a project. And so the way this is working is I'm going to pretend we're attending a trade show, and as part of this trade show, I know that there's certain customers that I'm already doing business with, already attending, and at the conclusion of this trade show, I'm going to receive a Microsoft Excel sheet, and that sheet then I'm going to import into Synergy. And ideally, when I do import that, I'm going to import it into different account managers and show you how that works. So this is the project I'm going to import into. I've already got some customers assigned to this project, and the way this my thought is that in contacting these customers and talking about trade shows and whatnot, I've learned that these few customers are going to be there at that trade show. Okay, so that's the project that I'm going to be importing into. I'm going to take a look at one of these accounts, and I've actually added a few fields to the account card in Synergy that I'm interested in importing into. One of them is the phone queue. Okay, so SGIA 2016. I'm interested in importing this into the phone queue, as well as I'm very interested in some sectors and some subsectors, special interest. These are some free fields, some marketing information that I'm very interested in kind of tracking, and I want to import that information into a Synergy as well as part of the spreadsheet. So to take a look at the spreadsheet, this is the spreadsheet that I'm going to import. And let me just download it here so we can take a look at some of the details. Okay, so it's a demo spreadsheet. So what I've got is I've got the company name, I've got the address 1, address 2 is blank for most cases, but if there was an address, we could import it. City, the state, the zip, the country, the phone number, a fax, email address, website, contacts, first name, last name, email address, and so on and so forth. Now I got this section in yellow, and I added this section in yellow because this is something that maybe the trade show provides me this information not in yellow as part of the trade show, okay? And then I added the yellow part to the spreadsheet because I want to import that. Those are some special things that I want to also import as part of the import. So some of what I'm interested in is the trade show itself. So I want to identify the source, where these leads are originating from. Maybe I want to later identify return on investment for that trade show, whether it was worth it or not. Maybe next year, whether I want to attend, or maybe we didn't make any sales in regard to that trade show. So it kind of identifies that return. I want to import the sector. Okay, so the sector of each one of these accounts. And in this example, I've got the beach, gift, it's different, whether it's a resort and so on and so forth. So it's some different sector codes. In addition, I could import subsectors and the rest of the marketing information, but for this example, I'm just importing sector. Now, also, I've got a free field identified on that account card, and I call that free field special interest. So as part of this, I can also upload special interest or free fields as part of the upload. So these are free fields that I've defined on my customer account card and that I also want to import as part of the spreadsheet. These next two columns, actually, the inside sales, these are the account managers that I want to assign the accounts to during the upload. Okay, so Len Rio is going to be assigned the first batch, and Robert Clark will be assigned the second batch. Next contact date. So it's important that we contact these customers, right? And so I've identified 8/29, August 29th, 2016, as the next contact date for these customers. Now, eventually, and maybe as part of another series, I'll show you how to use the phone funnel to use that next contact date as part of this import that we do today. Rating, this is another field that we use to identify the rating of that customer, whether it's a hot one or medium or low. Phone queue is part of also the phone funnel, and this is basically where it identifies what part of the phone queue that it's going to be assigned to. So again, the yellow here is what I added to the spreadsheet, kind of extra fields that are important to me, and I want to mass upload. And the rest of this is what was generated from my attendance to the trade show. All right. So I'll close this, and I'll go back to my home page. And what we'll do next is we'll go ahead and do an import. Now, the way you do an import, you go to basically create customers, and you go to the entry menu, and the submenu of entry is account, opportunity, quotations, accounts batch entry, and account import wizard. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go and use the accounts import wizard. So I click on this, and you have an option of new template, or I'm sorry, new import or my import templates. So I've created an import template for this. So I'm going to take you through the import template route, but it's in essence really the same thing as generating a new import itself, and at the end you can save it. So we'll click here. Okay, so it's asking me whether it's private template, public template, or what. I've got a private template saved called Demo 1. And now, if you look on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, I'm going to click the next button. The next bit of information it asks for is the actual Excel file or .text or .csv that you're interested in importing. So I'm going to click on Excel, and then I'm going to browse to where that template is stored. It happens to be right here. I'll say Open. When I'm done with that, I click on the Next on the bottom right-hand side of my screen. And now it says, select the appropriate worksheet. So these import templates in Microsoft Excel, as you know, you can have multiple sheets to import. Well, this one only has one sheet to import, so really it's an easy selection, sheet 1, and click on Next. Now, this takes me to the criteria for the import, and these are some of my defaults that are going to be identified as part of that import. The first one is the division, the Synergy division at which point I want to import. This is the project that I want to import. This is the project that basically will house all the information contained for that trade show. So in the end, again, it's going to identify that return on investment, whether it was profitable or not profitable. The account manager is next, okay? And here I can identify the account manager that I wish to import. You can only import one account manager at a time. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to run through this import twice, but because I can save the template, I only have to do the mapping and et cetera only one time, and then really just click next, 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 next until I get to this screen and identify the next account manager. The account type is right now set to suspect, and there's a variety of accounts you can import into, associated accounts, bank accounts, customer accounts, leads, not validated, prospect, reseller, supplier, and suspect. We're going to import these as suspect accounts. But just know that you are able to import these as a variety of different accounts, and it works out very well. Also note that if you do import these as customer account and you have AS import running, it will also import these accounts not just into Synergy but also into Macola, just like that, as soon as the AS import runs. Okay. And as far as the financial account goes, we're going to set this as a customer. When we're all done with this, we're going to click on Next again, and it takes me to the next step. And of course, the next step is select the row that contains the header. And does it contain a header at all? Yes or no? And of course it does. And the first row that does contain that header is this one right here. So all I do is select that, and then I scroll down to the bottom again, where it's and I click on my next. Now here's the screen that this one might take you a little bit of time because it's about mapping the different fields from the Excel spreadsheet to what Synergy is looking for. So here, you know, the column name is name, the row is company. I got my address 1, address 2, city, state, and zip, and so on and so forth. Now you'll notice that if the spreadsheet is identified with the same name as Synergy, it will automatically make that relationship. If it's not, such as zip code and is different than zip, you need to manually make the relationship just by selecting from the list of possible values. Now, as far as possible values are concerned, there are a lot of fields that we can import into. And I'll just slowly scroll so that you can take a look at all the different fields, contacts, marketing information, even the financial information and free fields that we identify. So there's a lot of flexibility here as far as what I am able to import into. Country code, of course, phone, fax, email, website, the first name. I'll scroll down here a little bit so you can get a little bit better view. The last name, the second email. This second email happens to be the email to the contact. The first email, of course, is the email to the company itself, kind of like the default email. The source code is my trade show. Of course, I want to import that marketing information for my sectors, so that's this information. This special interest happens to be a free field, so I pull that in. And for my inside sales, now if you remember, one of my defaults a few screens before this was to identify the account manager, and in that I identified Len Rio, okay, for my first import. I'll have to do this import twice in order to do both Len the first time around and Robert Clark the second time around. Next contact date is next. This happens to be another free field, and of course I'm importing it here. The rating, and of course the phone queue. And in this case, I'm not going to import the phone queue. I'm going to do that through different means afterwards. When we're all done with that, and we've identified the different mappings that exist, we click on Next. And this screen says select the format of the numeric and data fields. So for the most part, if it's text, it knows what to do. But if it's say a date, then sometimes it might need some help. So what I've done is I've already set this date to month, day, year, year. Here's what the data looks like within the spreadsheet. So I really just need to make sure this matches what's in the spreadsheet. When I'm done with that, I click on Next again. And here I can identify what I'm going to import, okay? And I said I'm going to import Len Rio first, and Len is the first 5 accounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just manually select to import the first 5 accounts. Okay. If I don't do this and I want to just select everything, I can click this button. This button selects everything. By default, it always includes everything. But again, I'm going to run this import twice. The first for Len as the account manager, and the second time around for Robert Clark as the account manager. When I'm done, I can then click the import button right here. It's pretty quick. It says it created new 5 new accounts, and if I click on next again, it gives me some further details about what just happened. So it created these accounts, and if I click on next again, now it allows me to save the template as something else. So this is what I was saying back in the beginning. You know, if you don't have a template to use, you can actually, you know, create and generate a brand new template. When you're done with that, go ahead and save it either as a private or public, give it a name that you're going to remember, and save it so that then you can go back in, and if you do have different account managers, you can use that save template and really, you know, go very quickly to do that import. So what we're going to do, I've already saved it, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm just going to click on Finish. So that was one import. Now the second import, I got to do it again to import that Robert Clark. I'm going to do this one a little bit faster, just so you can see, you know, just how easy it really is. So I'm going to pick the Excel file again. Same exact Excel file. Click on Next. Next. Instead of Len Rio, I'm going to change this to Robert Clark. Click on Next. Select that top row. Click on Next. 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 Select the companies that I actually want to import. So I'm just going to slide this over so that I can see the bottom. And import these different accounts. And click on Next. I'm sorry, click on Import. And we're done. So that's how fast it is and how quick it is to import this. Now what I want to do is just quickly take you into that project again and take a look at the accounts we just imported. So here are all the accounts we just imported. You notice the customers were here previously, and all the suspect accounts are brand new. Also, you'll notice the account managers, Len Rio, Robert Clark, and so on and so forth. So you can see how that worked. What I'll do next is I'll just click on one of these that actually just imported, this ABC company as an example. And you'll see that here's all the data that just imported. It's nice and clean. Here's my source, which is the trade show. I have my sector codes. I have my my classification and rating, phone queue. I have my contact. If I click into the contact itself, I can also see the information like the email address that was imported properly, and that's it. So that is the end of this session. That is how you import an Excel spreadsheet into Synergy using the import wizard, and that's it.